Dark Ascents is an instrument of tension-building violin, ascents, and descents. On a deeper level, it's also an instrument of sound-designy glitches and grainy chaos. It's geared towards trailers, horror, industrial, and really any other context that could use an interesting and, frankly, weird icing on the cake. 8 NKIs are included in Dark Ascents. These are broken up into the 3-2-3 instruments, where each key is a small section of violins for quick layering, as well as the individual instruments, where each key is a separate violin for finer control over individual sounds. These two instrument types use the same samples, just mapped differently. Both of these types of instruments have 4 different articulation options available as separate NKIs: normal bowing, sol ponticello, tremolo, and sol ponticello tremolo. Finally, each NKI comes with a group of snapshots in different categories to get you started. In this tutorial, to begin with, we'll be using the raw, non-glitched out sounds just to make it clear what the controls are doing. If we take a quick look at the GUI, there are 3 different main pages. The main controls on the left side are those that I found myself using and automating most frequently from my DAW, so these are always visible to encourage tweaking on the fly. This section mainly has the controls for pitch, sample start, and panning, as well as some other buttons that we'll get into in a moment. The main effects page has distortion and saturation, a Leslie emulator, high and low pass filters, and ADSR envelope, as well as convolution reverb and tape echo options. These convolution reverbs are from 4 different unique spaces around the Seattle area. And on the motion page, there's a sine wave LFO that is assigned to pitch, and a square wave LFO assigned to the level, which is great for stutter effects. Both of these LFOs are able to function freely off the grid, or you can lock them into your sequence tempo at whatever subdivision you choose in the dropdowns. Automate this for accelerating and decelerating stutters. And finally, the glitch window, which is really an arpeggiator geared towards chaos. This is where glitchy, pointillistic sorts of sounds are generated. One thing to note is that just about all of the controls in this instrument can be set up to be automated by MIDI. Just right-click the control, hit MIDI Learn, and move your MIDI controller. Kontakt will do the rest. So let's break down the main controls by looking at the pitch section. First, we have the main pitch knob. This adjusts the pitch and speed of the notes being played with a plus or minus 3 octave range. Beyond that, the way the pitch knob works is dependent on the state of the global on and off button. When in global mode, the pitch knob affects all notes across the entire instrument in the same way. When the global button is off, the instrument is in individual pitch mode. This means each note can be manually set to its own unique pitch setting. Just play the note you want to change the pitch of, tweak the knob until it sounds good, then you're ready to move on to the next. Each subsequent note you hit will snap the pitch knob to that note's current setting. This is a great way to build up a nice variety of pitches in the instrument, and perfect for making clusters. In the lower left, we have a randomize button, which is just like how it sounds. While in global pitch mode, hitting this button will force all notes to the same random position. In individual pitch mode, hitting randomize will snap each separate note to a totally different random pitch, so you can instantly get a variety of pitches. Notice the S and R buttons here. These are for saving and recalling a pitch preset. There are 2 slots available, one for global pitch mode and one for individual pitch mode. Click the Save button to save your current pitch settings into memory. At any point beyond that, hit Recall to bring your pitches back. Moving on to the sample start section. Being an instrument of risers, each note you play on the keyboard is constantly changing its pitch as the glissando occurs. So the sample start slider becomes yet another way to get more variation out of the instrument. When you change the sample start position, this will effectively change where the violinist is on the string when you hit a note on the keyboard. Also notice the playback cursor on the waveform adjusts to where you are on the waveform, and will continue to track as long as the note is held down. This is useful for timing. The last control in this section is another randomize button. With this on, every time you hit a note, you'll get a random start time. Again, considering this sample is constantly changing pitch, randomly jumping around within the sample can create some interesting disjointed stutters, even when constantly triggering the same note. And it's even cooler when playing random notes on the keyboard. One thing to note, occasionally you might hear a little click after you've moved the sample start fader. This is because you're now starting the sample at a non-zero crossing in the sample's waveform. Rather than program that out, it was left in because frankly, sometimes those little transients are cool. But if you don't want it, just add a few milliseconds of attack or release to the ADSR and you should be golden. Let's take a look at the pan section. Like pitch, every note can have a unique pan setting. Just play the note, move the pan knob to where you want, and do it again until you have a custom spread. Once you have something you like, go ahead and hit the save button to hold it in memory before you move on. Notice here we have a drop-down menu. These are some useful panning presets to get you out of the gates. What's in the list changes depending on if you're using a 3-2-3 sectioned instrument, as we are here, or an individual instrument. Let's go through it quickly. Center simply centers every note. For the LCR group preset, remember that with a 3-2-3 instrument, each key is a small section of violins. If we take the risers starting on the G string, we have 3 on the G key, 2 on the G sharp, and 3 more violins on the A key. Smash all 3 keys, and you have 8 layers of glissando risers starting on the G string, and currently all are centered in the stereo field. Hit the LCR preset, and the 3 sections are set left, center, and right automatically. For the left to right 12 preset, all 12 ascending sections are spread evenly across the stereo field. All 12 descending sections are spread evenly as well. For the left to right all preset, literally all notes in the entire instrument are spread out. And finally we have what I like to call the F it preset. This is random panning across the entire instrument. I've found myself using this frequently as a quick and chaotic way to spread things around. I won't go over the presets for the individual instruments as it's the same concept. Looking at velocity sense, when this is on, the instruments will respond to the velocity information from your keyboard or DAW. When off, velocity info is disregarded and notes will be at full volume. Useful if you want to automate a volume ramp-up using CC7. Finally, the note and group fields show you the note you're playing on the keyboard. And the group shows whether it's an ascent or a descent, as well as its root note. Next on the menu is the glitch side of things. The glitch machine here is basically an arpeggiator that is geared towards pointillistic ripping sounds and sometimes random glitches. It's a chaos machine. When mode is set to off, you're in normal riser mode. In momentary mode, the glitch runs only while notes are actively held on the keyboard or when notes are playing from your DAW. This is the most common mode you'll use when working in a session. Latched mode is a good way to audition and tweak sounds hands-free. Hit a note, let go, and you can play around. Latched mode is not so useful in a DAW because it won't respond to note endings, so you will need to turn it off manually. In the middle we have the table, which is kind of the main brain. Each step on the x-axis represents a note event. The y-axis is that note's velocity. You can have up to 99 steps, and you can take it all the way down to 2. You may want to set this to something that makes sense for the time signature in your session, or just roll with something completely unrelated. You can also change the order in which the table plays. You have left to right, everything in between, and totally random where it jumps all over the table. We'll go ahead and choose something more linear for now. The pattern can be changed from these options. And finally here we have a way to adjust how many times a note will repeat before the table moves on to the next step. Now up top we have some different curve options. We have linear up, down, anti-log up, down, and log up, down. Next, we have a randomize button that takes the entire table and randomizes the steps and velocities. More chaos. You can also click and drag in the table and draw your own curve. The last button up here is the glitch button. This takes any curve and sets random steps to 0 velocity. The glitch button basically goes through your table and cuts random holes in it. Very cool at faster rates. You can even keep hitting it until you have nothing left. This whole thing is, by nature, a destructive process, especially when you draw your own table. Once you hit glitch, or change the curve, it's gone. So again, if you want to store your curve, first hit the save button. Make your changes, or glitch it out, then recall to bring your curve back. I found myself automating the recall and the glitch buttons often as I've been using this instrument in sessions. Over on the right side, we have the rate. This is a subdivision of your DAW tempo, so 1/64th triplets gets you 96 subdivisions per bar, and so on. Definitely feel free to mess around with this or even automate it in your sequence. Down below rate, we have pulse width. Think of this as note length. The smaller the percentage, the shorter the note length per step. As we go to the right, our length of course gets much longer. A note about velocity sense. If you're using the glitch functions, you might want this to be on. Without it, you lose all the dynamics that are generated from your curve. And finally, don't hesitate to automate the pitch, sample start, and pan to give even more motion while running glitch. Again, this is the reason the main controls are always visible from either page. Dark Ascents is available at bloodcellsaudio.com. Please feel free to hit us up with any questions, thoughts, or ideas, and we'll see you again soon.